REI Nation Facebook group. I'm back. I've been gone for a while on these calls, and some of our folks have done a great job. You guys may have noticed Ryan Flannery out of our Dallas office talking about buying on some videos, and Mark Anderson doing some home tours, and Nate Gray bringing you a lot of information on Premier. If you're not tuning into their videos, they're getting watched by hundreds and hundreds of people. A lot of great content on there. They're solid, experienced guys with our company. All of them have been with us, me, over 10 years. So they're well informed on their subject. So I implore you to tune in and listen to what they're talking about, because there's some really good information on there. And but we have some great guests on here today. I'm going to introduce you to Cyndy, to Cynthia and, well, I lost my note right here. Cynthia and Ed Austin, my apologies today, that have been with us a long time, since 2013, have 8 properties with us. We're going to talk to them in a minute about a few things about their experience with our company. I have Ashley Clonch on here with us. That's been a salesperson for us for a long time that works with these folks. I'll talk to Cyndy from our customer service department that works with them. So we're going to get into talking about that. But I want to urge everybody to like the page and share it with other people, and we'll continue to grow the group. Today we have I think we have almost 5,300 people on the group today, and it is growing. But I just want to spend a few minutes and talk to Cynthia and Ed about how their experience has been with REI Nation, and any questions they may have. So Ed and Cynthia, welcome to the call this afternoon. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you guys are at today, and just take a few minutes and talk about a little bit about yourself and your background for our audience. Thank you.
Sure. Hi, nice to be on with you today, Cynthia and Ed. And we're when we first got introduced to Memphis Invest was through Fortune Builders, and it was in 2013. And we were very excited to learn about it. And as Kent said, we now have 8 houses shown on these plaques behind me on the wall, and has slowly built a portfolio over time. Our main idea was to do the mailbox money, and it's been really great with that. I'm an engineer, an aerospace engineer, still working, and Ed was in the aerospace business. He's now retired. He was more on the business side of it, and I was more on the engineering side. And so we've been, to tell you the truth, the reason we invested originally with Memphis Invest, now REI Nation, was because of the people, because of the company. So we've invested in your company, and we happen to have some houses. We actually have never physically visited any single one of those houses. So even though we've been to Memphis a couple times and visited with you, and been to Dallas and seen what we've done, is we've invested in your company, and we've been so pleased with that.
Well, and that means a lot to us, because our reputation, credibility, and integrity is the most important thing. So today, Cynthia, I think probably 75% of the people that buy houses from us have never seen them. They don't come. Yeah. And that's pretty unusual for you to come to both cities and never go see any of the houses. So we take that with very personally, that you come by and see us and spend time with us and our great people. So Ed, how have we done for you guys? A little bit about yourself.
Well, as Cynthia said, I'm retired. I was a Marine for 10 years, and then I got into the aerospace business, and got to work on some really fun projects like space station and satellites for television and stuff like that. And retired because Cynthia makes so much money that I'm now a kept man. And but as Cynthia did say a few moments ago, I will say that when we first came to you, or actually saw you at one of the down in San Diego, it was like, oh, that sounds pretty interesting. Let's take a real hard look at them. Let's do a deep dive on these guys and see what's going on. And after being in the military, I recognize a real good general when I see one, and I see one in you.
I've been called a lot of things, but I've never been called a general.
Well, that's what you are. You have yourself a marching army down there. It's well oiled and seasoned, and it gets things done in a very timely fashion. So far, we've had a couple of hiccups with a house or two, but most of them were related to the folks that rent instead of and it had nothing to do with you guys. But we resolved those issues and got them taken care of as quickly as possible, I believe.
We thank you for the comments. With the Clothier family, we are so lucky to have such great people that work for us, people on this call, people sitting here at this table helping me do this today. We have 100 and probably 20 people now in all of our cities and all of our company. And it's just, none of this happens without these folks right here. And they're the backbone of everything we do. And as we continue to grow, we're going to probably do over 900 properties this year. And but it takes this team and continued training, continue high level people that work for us. And we've said all along that average people cannot work for us. And it's just without the type of people we have, we wouldn't be here today. Yeah, we have a lot of systems and processes and a lot of ways that we want to do things. And we can't do this high level of volume, 240 renovations going on today out there without solid systems and solid processes and a lot of expectations and accountability. And it's not for everyone, but these people, Ashley's been with me for 11 years, Cyndy, 10 years, 11 years, 11. I mean, so for those folks to put up with me that long and the way we do, I'm really lucky, but it goes back to them buying into what kind of company we are and what we're here for. And it's to do the right thing at the right time for the right people. And we're so lucky to have people like you guys that have been with us since 2013. So give us a kind of I know our audience wants to hear about, so I know you found us through Fortune Builders. You did a deep dive into your properties and did all your research. How are the properties performing now after, let's see, that's almost 8 years, I guess. How are they doing for you?
Yeah, so it's an interesting mix we decided to do, and this was some of the advice that we got from you guys, some of the advice we got from the Fortune Builders guys. We have actually half of our homes, for instance, have mortgages, non-recourse loans. Half of them we own outright, and we're sort of paying off the loans as they go. Right. So even the ones with mortgages, there's not a single one that we aren't making money on. Wow. And a positive, and some we're doing, 7-8%. So the return has been very, very good, and using that. Even and Ed mentioned we had a couple of hiccups here and there. At the beginning of last year, there was one house that we had that the renter was not paying, and it actually moved out and had somebody else living there, and all sorts of, and of course this was, guess what, at COVID. So it was very hard, but your guys did a fabulous job of working with them and gradually moving them out and then getting it renovated and leased right away. So that was it was at a time when it was extremely difficult if you were owning rental properties. Apart from that one little hiccup, it's been really, really good.
Well, I know Cyndy likes calling you once a month and delivering good news. We never like to deliver bad news. Yeah. We like to call and tell you that we have your house rented and we got you a higher rental. We have got you a higher rental amount, which hopefully we're doing. We got you renewed or whatever it is. But sometimes we have to call with a move out, or sometimes we have to call with a maintenance issue, and they're few and far between. But it's just part of owning these properties, and I know you guys know that after all these years. So
yeah, in fact, Cyndy called me. What was it, yesterday? With one of the renewals on one of our properties. It doesn't actually have to renew till I think it's January, but already done for another 2 years, and with a slight bump up on the first year. So that's great. And yeah, it's been like that. Typically, she calls. It's always nice to hear from her. And so anything, everything's great. All right, good.
we have a lot of our new investors that find it hard to believe that we do exactly what you just said. And whenever we have a lease that's about to expire within the 6-month window, and yours in January, we're already working on that, trying to get you a renewal. And I'm glad to hear that they're way out ahead of that 3 or 4 months and got you taken care of, got you a new 2-year lease with an increase in the first year. But one thing about it, they'll be working on renewing that lease again for you also. So, but we'll renew about 250 leases this month for investors, which prevents you from having a move out. And that's the most important thing. We don't want you to have a move out. We want to get that thing renewed, keep those people in there. Our average resident today stays almost 7 years in the property.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think we have a couple of ours that are 4 and 5 years at least. I don't remember exactly, but Cyndy keeps track of them for me. So if you want to know, just ask her.
So one other thing that you guys did that was pretty shocking to me, in
a good way.
Shocking in a good way, is that when we did have one of the houses had a problem with a foundation, for instance, I think it was, is that you guys got it fixed really quickly, and the way that you handled it and the manner in which you handled it, as far as getting it all the permits and everything done, and getting it back up to speed as quickly as possible, and almost painless to us to get it done. I thought I was going to have to send you some money for that, and the way you have it worked out is just absolutely marvelous.
Yeah, the handling of how you do your renovations or how you do the maintenance and all that is so good and so unusual that we just love it.
Well, I love hearing the stories about our people that you guys experienced. And again, we can always get better. We're always chasing that 2% in our company on things that we can do better. I'm always glad to hear those stories about our people taking care and doing what you guys like. Let me go to Ashley. Ashley, how long have you been working with Cynthia and Ed? And are we going to sell them any more houses? Are they done at 8 or what? I know.
We're on the lookout for some new markets for them. So we're waiting on some to come through. But we actually originally started working together.
Before you were Plunch.
Well, that was early on, and then Ashley Tinker was also a part of my team at that time. And so you worked with both of us, and but early on with Terry Givens as well. So 2013 was the first time, and I believe you guys attended some boot camps that we were at as well. And so we got to meet there. And Ed, I was in the Marine Corps also. So you're spot on what you said about Kent, because I was prepared and didn't know what I was preparing for. When I was in the military, I was preparing for working here because it is a tight ship and he is a general. So, or maybe a colonel.
That's more like a general.
Yeah, true. But so yes, we've worked together for a while now, and of course they're always great to work with. Cyndy is a busy bee. Cynthia is a busy bee. She works a lot, so catching them is sometimes, they're always working and on it. But we always connect back, and she's always so kind to work with, and of course you as well, Ed. And we are looking at new markets now. We're looking at our Alabama markets to possibly expand their portfolio and get them going and diversified some more. So that's our next step.
So Cynthia and Ed
figured that it's 15 houses. When we have 15, then I can retire. See? So
I'm going to help you get there.
We'll help you do whatever we got, whatever we can do. But let me ask you, Cynthia and Ed, what advice would you give a newbie that's on the call today or look at this video over the next week or so about getting started in real estate or getting started with REI? What advice would you give a new person with all the experience that you folks have now?
Well, I'll start off. And one of the things that I would do differently than we did was, instead of I would have bought 2 houses instead of 1 the first time. Instead of paying cash for 1, I would have mortgaged 2. Would have been a much better idea, and it never dawned on me. I mean, I build satellites for a living. What do I know about buying houses and leveraging that kind of money? But that's one of the things that I would tell people is to don't be afraid to leverage, and it's and I think that's really important. It helps you build that portfolio much quicker.
Yeah, especially if you're a little younger and you're not looking for the income yet. So the balance of being able to do and we did ours all out of our 401k money. So all of our loans are non-recourse, right? So 50% down, but we could have, like Ed said, after we learned about it a little bit and put our toe in the water for the first couple, then we got some with the non-recourse loans, and we got an understanding of how to do that. That really helped us get to that next level.
So I would think that the biggest thing that would help anybody who's getting into this is the more knowledge they have about the types of loans that they're going to do, whether they're going to use their 401k or whether they're going to use other money that's not tied up like that. They need to know about those things, because you and I now, we know about these things, and it's like old salt to us, but younger people they don't have a clue.
Right.
They don't have a clue. And I like the way that when you present them, you present the different options. If you're buying it outright, if you're buying it with a regular loan, if you're buying it with a non-recourse, if you're all those different, here's the return on investment you get from this version and that version and the other, and looking at all those and what does it mean and what do they do in the long term, that really helps. And the education, you guys provide some education on all of this, and that really helps.
Yes. Well, let me ask you about Cyndy. She handles, her and Carrie down there handle a lot of our WOW customers. Today we have over 400, and I think I got a note earlier, 400 and something clients that have over 5 properties, another 35 or 40 or something like that own more than 10 properties. And Cyndy handles our high valued clients. Not that people below 5 are not valued, they are very valued, but when you get into the upper echelon of 5 or more, then Cyndy and Carrie take those on and are available to talk to you guys anytime. What type of service is she providing for you? How is she doing? I think I already know the answer, but I always like hearing it again. Okay. Go
Like I said, she's the one who's keeping track of everything for me, so that's great. Being able to balance between the houses, she takes care of, okay, you've got a maintenance over here, but you've got extra rent over there, so we'll just do how to manage those things, how to look at it as a whole portfolio,
Sure.
not just 1 or 2 houses. That's extremely important, and it really is helpful. And then being able to talk to her every month, or whenever I feel like it, being able to sign up and call her or whatever. It seems like she or I mean, it's almost always I talk to Cyndy, but you have an office. There's a few other folks there as well. But being able to call at any time and get somebody and send in and make an appointment if I want to, or get a feedback on an email is almost, it's very quick, is extremely important. And
that's how we do it here in the military. We make sure that we're always available.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. It's really important having that the feel of confidence. I don't even whenever I talk to somebody about the fact that we have rentals there, they kind of hold their head, and it's like I said, dude,
you got to worry about the toilets.
We never worried about toilets. We don't worry about any of that sort of thing. They take care of everything for us. They vet the folks. They put our money in the bank for us. I said, we get a phone call from them once a month that says, "Yay, verily, your money's in the bank. Talk to you in a month."
Wow. Well, Cyndy, tell me how it is working with these folks.
Oh, we've been around for a long time. I think I met y'all first. I don't know. I think it was Memphis, maybe, or even California. I'm not sure, but long time we've known each other and spoken on the phone whenever they can. I know they are busy people, and they can always call me back at their convenience, and hopefully I'm there for them and answer any questions they may have. But you guys are the best. It's always a real pleasure, and it's nice to talk with people that understand that it is an investment. It's nothing personal. We can handle this together. It's a team effort, and for anything that we do, good, bad, or wonderful, we're all in the same boat, and we're all pulling for each other.
Let me ask Cynthia and Ed here. We got just a couple more minutes, and we'll get off here and let you guys go. Any questions that I could answer for you about anything that we do or the real estate or your properties, and certainly Ashley or Cyndy could answer. A question that you may have for me or us.
Yeah, one of the questions I had, I know you've been investigating these new markets, like and gradually expanding into the others. You have the main office in Memphis and Dallas, but now as you're expanding, are you thinking of getting another main office? Or and how does that work? What are your visions for the next 5 years or 10 years?
Well, pre-COVID, we had a couple of cities lined up. We were looking at it in Tallahassee in Florida, and we were looking at maybe Nashville and maybe El Paso where we're licensed. Now, the things that we're trying to overcome is finding the good people to be able to hire in these markets. And as you guys, I'm sure it's the same way where you guys, you go anywhere you go, now hiring. We're seeing the same thing, not only for REI, but finding vendors that can help us do these houses. So before we go into any city, we want to have a solid vendor team. We want to be able to bring somebody in, a couple of people in, and train them before we turn them loose in a city, because we want to make sure that we do it right, and we don't get off the message and off the processes that we do. And because I'm always looking to protect our reputation, and the worst thing that could happen is that we go in a city and buy a bunch of properties and then kind of flop. That's not what I want to do. So preparation, hiring, training, getting ready to go into these markets, making sure we have a vendor team lined up, and that includes a rehab team, painters and contractors and plumbers and electricians and all these people that help us do what we do in the cities. So those are important things. Would I like to go out to another 5 or 10 cities, be in Atlanta, be in Charleston, be in Charlotte, be in Phoenix, staying all across the bottom of the country here where the weather's good? Sure. But we have to be very careful that we have all the right discipline set up and we do all the homework, because the last thing we want to do is to go in the market and stumble and disappoint an investor and not be able to provide the top line service that we do every single day. So we just got to make sure that we check all the boxes and everything is good. But after we get past this COVID thing here, we want to aggressively continue to move forward. And we're meeting with other financial people that can help us do that and allow us a bigger runway with access to a lot more funds that will take us to the next level of properties that we want to get to. We're at 7,000 properties right now. We want to get to 10,000 and 12,000, and that's going to take us 2 to 4 years. We know that, but that's kind of where we're going, but one step at a time. I hope that answered your question there.
Yep, that's it.
Any other questions today?
No, I don't think so. Well, if you come to a city near us, maybe I'll try to go to work for you. Who knows?
Well, certainly. Let me get Cynthia to step back a little bit. I want to see all the plaques. I want to see all of our viewers.
Oh, yeah.
Ashley Clontz, will you please send her an REI shirt, please? We'll get you.
Yes, we've got to get you updated.
We've got to get her updated.
I have a wow shirt.
We have REI Nation shirts, right? I'm going to get you the next day or two. I'll get Ashley Clontz. We'll get you an REI Nation shirt in the mail, okay?
Okay.
So I like the 8 plaques there, and for our visitors that are on here that don't know what that means, every time somebody purchases a house from us, we send them a plaque right there, and Cynthia and Ed have all 8 of theirs up on the wall. So wow, that looks great. Thank you.
This little one, which is the gold color, is because that's when we became the WOW group. So you get the WOW group here, right? All this.
Yes, that's fantastic.
Make sure they get 2 shirts. Ed, don't leave Ed out.
Okay, that's all right.
He needs an extra large.
All right, extra large shirt, and we'll get those for you guys.
Sure. Thank you so much.
I got a question here that's come up on the screen. Ashley Clontz, I'll get you to see if you can help me with a person asking, can you ballpark the closing costs on a typical house of $225,000 with 25% down? Ashley, you know about what those closing costs would?
Right now, so the closing costs themselves would be around $5,000, but then you have some prepays. So we tell investors to be prepared between $7,000 and $9,000 for closing costs total. That's your prepays as well, so taxes, insurance, and all of that. So that's typically what we prepare investors for.
Wow, thank you.
Oh,
Well, listen,
you also should mention the insurance program you have for that, you know, especially if you have multiple houses, that
Right.
insurance, you do have that.
Yes,
as well.
we have insurance available, and they certainly don't have to use our insurance, and they don't have to use our finance. They don't have to use any of the services that we provide at the option of the investor. But most everybody takes advantage of our insurance. In some cases, cheaper. In some cases, it's not. We understand that, but probably 95% of our investors on a monthly on new houses use our service there. So. But listen, we've been 25 minutes. I've rattled on here probably too long, but I just want to see if you guys had any final thoughts or questions, and before we sign off here.
Nope.
Nope. Oh yes, when are you having another get together? Maybe in 22.
I'm getting too old for these get-togethers. Okay, I got to send the young guns out here.
I knew they were going to ask it. I get it asked all the time.
I know.
It's time.
We did a lot of events, and I know people liked them. But hopefully, as soon as this COVID calms down and we can get everybody satisfied, and who knows, wherever we go, if you got to wear a mask, don't have to wear a mask, have a shot, no shot. I don't want to get involved in that mess. Okay, and as soon as all that kind of clears out, then maybe we can get something on the schedule for next year and get you guys there and invite everybody and do what we did in the past, which was a lot of fun for everybody. So, but
great.
on behalf of the Clothier family, our REI team, our premier team, we just want to thank you for the support all these years of staying with us. And we're so lucky to have clients like you guys that stay with us long-term. 2013, 8 properties. I know Cyndy, I know she thanks you, I know Ashley, and we're just so lucky to have folks like you that support us, stay with us, and believe in us, and hopefully refer us to other people if we ever earn that opportunity. So again, on behalf of us, thank you for joining me this afternoon. Have a great evening, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Come to Memphis anytime. All right.
Our pleasure.
Okay,
Our
thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.